there's this theory going around that I've read recently while just browsing the internet, and it's that gaming is dying. And it really got me thinking for a second that why are they saying gaming is dying? Who is saying gaming is dying? And what makes them? I guess that kind of includes into why. But so at the end of the day, it boils down to just some trolls and part time gamers, is what I like to call them. There's a difference between people who game because it's popular now and people who have been gaming our entire lives. There's definitely the separation there. And I feel like nowadays there are an oversaturation of those part-time gamers. And because that happens, let's take Marvel Rivals, for example. When Marvel Rivals got announced, it was a 5v5. No, I already said that wrong. That's hilarious. It's a 6v6 superhero shooter, FPS, hero genre, but it was quite literally the superheroes from our childhood. You had the ability to play as Spider-Man, Captain America, Hulk, Groot. You had Rocket Raccoon. You had, all of these characters that were near and dear to people's hearts, but, just they made the game that people wanted to play. And that's what drove the hype to be so big, right? And now that those players are starting to fall off because they're kind of realizing that there's a skill gap, right? It is kind of like it's kind of creating this gaming is dying. You know what I mean? It's the people who are complaining that the game is too saturated with people who are too good. Why can't I just get on and play? Why do I have to, you know, be so good at all the times while I'm playing ranked? That's the thing, is everybody wants to play ranked and everybody wants to be grandmaster, but nobody wants, and not even grandmaster, celestial top 500, but let's be realistic. Most people are aiming for grandmaster. So everybody wanting to be grandmaster it's a thing that is common, and these part-time gamers think that because they can't get out of the silvers and the golds and even the diamonds, maybe because they can't make it from these spaces, that oh well, they have nothing to lose. They have, they just put the gaming up, they turn it off, they move on, and eventually after long enough they don't come back the next day. But the difference is with the full-time original gamers, the OGs, we pick it back up. We keep coming back day after day, night after night, game after game, loss after loss, win after win. We come back. We retaliate. And from my understanding, Overwatch was never really that popular with the gaming community. Granted, it had its community. Do not get me wrong here. It was popular within its own genre, but as a broad specter game compared to the titles of 2K, Madden, etc., it was not a very big game. So from my understanding and my personal experience from playing Overwatch, it didn't have a big player pool either. So it kind of makes sense now that, games like Marvel Rivals and more niche, non-public front of the eye games are quote unquote dying to these media sources, is because we're losing the part-time gamers. We're losing the gamers that go back to Fortnite after 3 or 4 months. We're losing the gamers that go back to 2K, that go back to Madden, that go back to the story-based games. And while I'm saying there's nothing wrong with that, it's not that gaming is dying. It's that gaming is just kind of taking its cycle. There hasn't been really any new games to come out, such as a Marvel Rivals type game, such as something that can generate as much steam as a Marvel Rivals genre of video game. It just hasn't happened, right? So Marvel Rivals was like the last big example. Sure, there can be arguments made for other games, but for the sake of mind, I'm using Marvel Rivals, right? And watch tomorrow at whenever the thing drops. It could have already dropped by the time you're watching this, but when the season 3 update drops, Marvel Rivals player counts will surge in numbers. When the swimsuit models drop, player counts will again surge in numbers. And it will kind of seem like gaming, therefore, is not dying because these part-time gamers want to see new content. And that's just kind of the whole shtick of it. It takes a big, new, shiny, look at me game, and it takes something huge to create this idea that gaming is now popular. It takes large titles like GTA 6 coming up in May of 2026. I'm waiting for it. It's going to be a good game. But see, it takes a game like that to really grab the part-time gamers and the OG gamers, I guess OGs, together. It takes something of that size, of that multitude. And I'm not saying Marvel Rivals is on the size or multitude of GTA 6. It's just the fact that it was a large game. It introduced a lot of new players to this hero genre game. And it's just not for everybody. And so, I don't know. I say all of that to say that gaming is not dying. Of course, when GTA 6 comes out, it's going to be flooded with these gamers of all sorts and speeds. And then, in 10 years, when we're expecting GTA 7, if we're lucky, it'll be dead and GTA 7 will blow up in our faces. And it's just thoughts like that I truly know that gaming isn't dying. And regardless if you believe it is or not, you, watching the video right now, if you've made it this far, you can save gaming. Prove all of these media outlets wrong. Prove all these bots and trolls on Twitter wrong. Show them that you are a gamer and our gaming industry is not dying. We're just kind of at a standstill right now. It takes something new and original to excite us. And granted, while GTA 6 is not new or original, it's going to be the next big title that comes out. Let's face it. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. I've been editing the Invincible Season 2 recap / review. I've been editing it pretty intensely, so it should be dropping soon. But yes, be on the lookout for that. But as always, this has been The Kevin Show. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe. We're doing a 24-hour stream at 200 followers on Twitch and 100 subscribers on YouTube. So let's get that going. Yeah, but have a good night. I appreciate you watching.